This is the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon, and it completely changed my outlook on 3D printing. For some reason, I used to think it was all about endless tinkering and complicated setups, like I needed half an engineering degree to get this thing set up. But this printer changed all of that for me. People often say that Bambu Lab printers are like the iPhone of 3D printing because they deliver that same kind of simplicity, the user-friendliness, and that all-in-one experience that Apple is known for, and I think I understand what they mean now. I think you could describe these printers as a go-to for anyone who wants a straightforward and polished 3D printing ecosystem without all the fuss. And guys, if I can get my head around this, you can too. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like a one-time.
Now, I have a little confession to make. It's been almost a full year since Bambu Lab has sent me this unit to review, so this video has been a long time coming. But on the bright side, it also means I've had a lot of time to actually use it, so I feel like I can really share my experience using this thing. Now, one of the downsides of delaying a video like this is that sometimes footage can get lost, and that's exactly what happened to my unboxing footage, but you can trust me when I tell you it was super easy and very straightforward to set this thing up. The printer comes pretty much assembled. All you have to do is take some loose parts out of the casing, screw them into place, and you're done. I think it took me less than half an hour from box to table. Speaking of table, this thing is big. Bigger than I thought it would be, and the space I had allocated didn't really work. So I ended up ordering an additional workbench specifically for it. But honestly, it's been a blessing in disguise because you're gonna need quite a bit of space for your filaments and all the accessories you may or may not end up buying, but more on that later. So while this isn't Bambu Lab's newest model, that's what you get when you wait a year to publish a video, it is still one of their top end models. And what I really like about the product line is that you can start off by investing in a relatively inexpensive, more entry-level printer like the A1 Mini, to see if you even like this whole 3D printing thing, and work your way up from there. But I'm warning you, if you do end up liking it, there are several rabbit holes you can go down real fast, which you will see later on in the video as well. So to get started, Bambu Lab made it super easy. You can either use the companion app to find a design to send to the printer as a trial, but to make it even easier, the actual printer comes preloaded with some typical test prints. I've noticed that a lot of people choose to print this little 3D boat called Benchy. By the way, there's also a 3D bench called Bodhi. I guess that's some 3D printing humor for you. Anyway, I chose to print something I could actually use, which is this tiny little scraper that is used to remove the excess filament off the print plate once you're done printing. And you will see that there's actually a lot of stuff you can print for your printer, like this poop chute. Yeah, that's actually what it's called. In the printing community, poop is the leftover bits of material that printers discard after finish a print. The little chute just helps catch those remnants so everything stays tidy and the poop just doesn't randomly fly out the back of the printer. I even printed these little containers to fill up with desiccant that will help keep the filament dry. This is all stuff you don't think about when you're just getting started, but stuff you will definitely need. But the fact that you can print solutions for the actual printer is kind of ironic, but it also makes you realize that these things are not just built to print funny stuff, like this pooping balloon dog, notice there's a theme here, or this cool little dragon pencil cup I printed for my daughter, but you can use these printers to find creative solutions to everyday problems. And that's probably what I've come to appreciate the most. Once 3D printing becomes part of your system, if you will, before looking online to buy something, you'll find yourself wondering, hey, wait a minute, can I print the solution? Like this under the desk mount for my Mac Mini. I couldn't really find an appropriate place for it on my desk, and I wanted it out of sight but still within reach. This mount has been absolutely perfect for it. The same goes for this simple but really awesome solution for my MagSafe charger. Tell me this isn't way more elegant than just laying it flat on your desk. And again, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. The easiest way is to go on Bambu Lab's app called MakerWorld, which is basically a search engine for 3D prints. It's very intuitive. You can either browse or search, and once you find a design that you like, you can send it to your printer and start printing. You can even do it from across the world as long as your printer is online. There's other search engines too, like Printables and Thingiverse, and they often even have more designs to choose from. But the advantage of MakerWorld is that you can actually select the Bambu Lab printer that you have and your choice of filament straight from the app. If you want to make some small changes, you can do that on the desktop version of the app. It's all very straightforward, and some of the designs I found have been really brilliant. Probably my favorite one is this iPhone dock made by a fellow YouTuber called Scott Ujan. Hope I'm not butchering that name. I mean, there's 3D designs and then there's this guy. And man, there are levels to this game. And his video editing is every bit as smooth as his designs. I highly suggest you check out his channel. Anyway, this dock is such a smart design. It docks my phone to an integrated MagSafe charger, and it has another Apple Watch charger integrated as well to take care of my AirPods. I use this grayish beige filament to give it that old school Macintosh look, you know? Absolutely love it. But you can choose whatever funky color you want. And depending on the printer, you can even print multiple colors without having to manually change the filament. This box on top of the printer is called an AMS. This one holds up to 4 spools of filament, so you can print 4 different colors at a time if you want, and the AMS does it all automatically. Speaking of filament, you'll be needing a lot of it. And by a lot, I mean a lot. You can use third-party filament, no problem at all. There are some really good ones out there, but I prefer to stick with Bambu Lab's own because the printer recognizes them immediately, so I don't need to input any of the information myself. It knows the type and the color. I won't go into too much detail about filaments in this video. Just know that certain prints can require specific types of filament, or if you want a certain look, like glossy or even sparkly, there will be filaments for that too. The most commonly used one is probably PLA and probably also the easiest to use. So that's what I use 90% of the time. Now, what do you do if you need something very specific, something nobody has designed yet, or you want something a little different? Well, in that case, you can design your own 3D prints. My buddy Peter Lindgren does a lot of that stuff, so I suggest you check out his channel. He even printed some prototypes for products that he ended up selling professionally, like having them actually produced in a factory and then sold online. Very cool stuff. Obviously, there will be a learning curve. You can start off easy using something like Tinkercad, which is essentially for kids, but it works for adults too. Or you plunge right into the deep end with something like Fusion 360, which has a very steep learning curve, and I'm only beginning to scratch the surface of what it can do. Another rabbit hole you can easily go down is accessories. There are so many accessories you can buy for your printer, like a vacuum pump to seal any filament you're not using, or maybe you want to print a better scraper, or maybe you want to get into more intricate designs and you discover you actually need screws, nuts, and bolts, but to get those into your prints, you're gonna have to heat them. So you'll actually need a soldering iron as well. And with all these accessories, you're gonna need a place to store them. But now you're a 3D printing nut, so you want everything custom made to fit like a glove. And the list goes on and on. Again, you don't need this stuff if you wanna keep things simple, but if you find yourself enjoying this 3D printing stuff, guys, you'll very soon know exactly what I mean. Oh, and prepare to receive requests from friends and family. This week, my sister asked me to print this 3D dragon for my nephew Colin. Shout out to Colin, you're the man. But I waited for you guys to take it out of the printer. Let's have a look. Guys, this is actually so cool because this, let me just get that off. There we go. As you can see, this thing is actually fully articulating, and there's no assembly. This is actually how it comes out of the printer. And even after a full year of using this thing, it never stops to amaze me. Guys, I guess you can tell I'm convinced this stuff is so much fun. And if you're on the fence about giving it a try, just go for it. You're gonna love it. Guys, as always, thank you for nerding out with me. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I cover all kinds of tech and I post about once a week. See you in the next one.